And welcome to ILRF3 around Spain for ILR. I just said that, completely botched the intro, but never mind. Joining me today is Big Will, as Jess couldn't be here today as she has rehearsals. How are you today, Will?
Yeah, not too bad. Glad to finally be commentating ILR, and it made even better that it's with you, Jack. So
Yeah. Most races in ILRF3 have been entertaining so far. Hopefully Spain is as well. We had a lot of chaos last week in Baku as it was raining the whole way through the race, and we had a lot of DNFs, a lot of spins, a lot of carnage. Not sure what the weather's going to be like in the race because it doesn't tell us, but here we are for the qualifying session. As we can see, not too many people going out early. We've only got Blazing Slender and Hot Wire in the pit lane, as I see the two McLarens have actually got out first out of everyone. So, going through the order now, people just putting their banker laps in on different tyres as well. Some on softs, some on the super softs, as I start to get up all the telemetry for you. And yeah, should be quite a good qualifying session because there's quite, well, I wouldn't say quite a lot of room for error because of the long shooting corners. But the setup does have to be optimum. This is the testing track after all. Anything to report on, Will, so far, or all fairly calm? There's a lot of people going slowly, I think, in the third sector.
yeah, it's just pretty much everyone coming out for their outlap. I would say probably getting a feel for the track, finding out where the grip is, stuff like that. I'm actually gobsmacked. 20 drivers, and just I'm expecting a really close race. So I mean, some drivers I know, some drivers I don't. Oh, someone's actually just retired.
I actually noticed Wriggling Wazza in the McLaren was actually retired already from a crash at turn 3.
Yep.
Not too sure what's happened there as the Sauber actually caught that. The Sauber actually goes off wide. I'm not too sure if that was contact or whether he just lost it. But he's very lucky to have kept that out the wall regardless of whose fault it was. As some people not too happy with their tyre choices as APS Steerage, not liking those mediums he selected at all, and he's come back in on his what was meant to be his outlap, but he's just come straight back in, not liking the grip. There's AJH retires as well. That's the Sauber we just saw go into the gravel. Will, did you see where that was?
Oh, yeah.
Another Mercedes just goes flying into the wall. Caught that as well.
Yep, that was actually about 1 or 2 corners after the Sauber from where the Sauber crashed. I jumped on board with the Mercedes and just saw him coming around, but I actually saw the Sauber, he lost it going off the track, hit the gravel, and then just went straight into the wall. But yeah, wow.
Yeah, quite a lot of incidents so far. So this is already starting to live up to what we saw last week, as SRL Rampage sets the fastest time of the 3 we've seen so far of a 1:18.3. Expect to see the times tumble as the track starts to rubber in, starts to get more comfortable for all the drivers, starts to warm up as well under the Spanish sunshine. As APS Steerage now coming back out on his mediums. I'm not sure that's what he wanted to do, but if it is, he was probably just trying to get some dirt or repair his front wing. He might have had a small incident. But he's just left the session. I think, not sure if that was planned or not. Might be just lag. He'll be back in a minute, I'm sure. As loads of people actually queuing up around the third sector. Hopefully they don't get in the way of anybody on a lap. As there's quite a lot of room to get out the way in the third sector. As ABS Steerage joins back, which is good news for him. But the thing is, if you get out the way in the third sector, you're actually at a risk of invalidating your next lap. As the run down to the last corner is very close to the start-finish line. People start to complete their laps now, as I thought that was our Frank just going off there, but he seems to be lagging quite a bit, so I'm just going to stay off his TV pod. I think Zillion Average, his crash. He just lost his wing. And did you see what that was, Will?
I was actually on board with F1 Aiden. He was coming around the final corner. I think he was kind of confused on whether he wanted to jump straight into the pits or just carry on with the lap, but he kind of slid his car, he kind of Colin McRae drifted it into the pits, but he actually went right across the front of, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was Ado Zigema in the Force India. He was just coming round and he basically cut right in front of him to get him. Oh, there's a Red Bull in the background that's off.
That is Shiwak, and that is at the entry to the start of Sector 3, the slower section.
Yep.
That is actually quite understandable, especially if he's got the ballast more towards the rear, as a lot of people don't realise, but into that long sweeping right-hander, there's actually quite a jump, which has a large capability to snap the car around, and you will end up in the gravel. I think Lance Stroll actually did that earlier this year in qualifying. I'm not sure if it was at the entry or the exit, but he definitely lost it at that corner. I know I've done it a few times. I'm sure you have a few times as well, Will. I think everybody has done it sometimes. That corner isn't the most comfortable to get round, I will be honest. As everyone, most people
I think it's just this.
Go on.
I think it's just this track.
Yeah, there are quite a few uncomfortable bumps and knocks to get around in this track, particularly in Sector 3 where there's not that much room for error. If you don't feel an error with your car in the first couple sectors, you're definitely going to feel it in the last sector, as it's sort of got some characteristics of a street circuit. It is Atlantis. It supports his lap on the soft tyres. Obviously not too happy with what he's done. Most people in the pits at the moment, having done their first lap, they're just probably trying to do a few tweaks to their setup, maybe get a new fresh set of tyres on. We'll probably see a lot more track action out in a second, as Cal F1 and SRL Rampage actually on their out laps at the moment. Rampage has got the engine revving glitch, so I'll try not to spectate him too much. Yeah. So at the moment, quite a few competitive times, some aborted lap times as well, as we can see from WR Phoenix. I doubt that is what he wants, a 1:38.8. That's probably just an error he's done and then just dive straight in the pits, I would have thought. Now hopefully people like Shiwak and Zillion Average and F1 Aiden don't make any more mistakes. They're actually some of the quickest guys on the field at the moment. As we saw, Zillion Average has actually got, I think he's got a podium in the last, he's got a podium in China and in Bahrain. So that is quite a reputation to uphold for Average as he goes for his lap, and he sets the fastest lap almost by a whole second. What do you think of that, Will?
Yeah, I'm actually, it's quite impressive that he can manage to do that. I'm watching F1 Aiden as well. He's taking the corners really, really nicely. He's using all actually, he's moving out far when he's coming into the corners, but I think he just moved a little bit too far out on one of those corners there. He clipped the grass and just about lost the car, but did well to keep it. But yeah, I mean, that Mercedes driver, 1:17.4, that's it's going to be quite a hard time to beat, but obviously the session's not over yet.
As I'm just trying to find, there are some yellows in Sector 2, as I think Easy Fusion might, actually no, not Easy Fusion. What, whose car is that? SRL Rampage. He actually gets track extended quite a bit, and he goes through a cloud of gravel, so he found out where it was. We're going to find out who it was. I'm going to stay on board with Rampage as he comes up. I think it might be a Ferrari. It is a Ferrari. I'm just going to scroll down, see what it was. I think it was Atlantis. Just had a bit of a moment coming up the hill to the fast right-hander.
Oh!
Another.
F1 Aiden's lost it.
He has. What is that? That is at turn 3. So he'd already. That was on his flying lap as well. As he still hasn't got a time in. Hopefully those tyres aren't that worn that he can go again. Because I would have thought he'd be able to, as he's only done a couple corners at race pace on those.
Yeah, he's actually invalidated both of his laps that he has put in, so not going well for him.
Yeah, I've actually seen quite a few extensions, particularly around, most of the extensions you'll see on this circuit will be in the last chicane, turn 5, which you'll see Atlantis come up to now on the exit, on the AstroTurf. See if Atlantis hits the apex, which he doesn't. That is very easy to cut, and this corner on the inside and the outside as you've got to thread the needle through this chicane. And this corner actually has a bit of leniency towards corner cutting at the exit the fast right-hander, because I remember myself, this is putting my hands up, that extended it quite a few times in other leagues and nothing's been done about it. So they can make a bit of an inroad on that corner. As his yellow's in sector 2, I just think that's Dun Thunder slowing down for his teammate. As Blazing Thunder, I think, actually aborts his lap in the process. As loads of people, I think, at the moment, are actually on flying laps, including Eidos Gamer, who is... It displays softs, but he's on the super softs. I'm not too sure what to believe, but I'm sure his time in a second will be representative. As he comes around the last couple of corners, into the left-hander in the chicane, into the right-hander of the chicane, coming around the final corner, flat out in 4th gear, and there's a Toro Rosso in the way, goes in just in time, and his time is good enough for 2nd place, just 2 tenths behind the Mercedes of William Ambry. That was quite a good lap for Eidos Gamer, considering he must have had a heart attack at the last corner with that Toro Rosso just sat there. Wow, I'm not sure if you were looking at him as well, Will, but that Toro Rosso certainly gave me a jump, and I'm sure it gave Eidos a jumper too.
Yeah, it definitely did. It's actually pretty weird that the 17, 18 and 19 haven't put in laps, but just, I know one of them actually crashed. I don't think the other 2 crashed. I think they just decided to start from the back, which, I mean, sometimes it is good strategy. You can start from the back, put on the longer stint tyres, and then just go forward. But I mean, most people want to start somewhere towards the front, so it's going to be interesting. But I'm on board with Dun Thunder, and wow, his car is moving from side to side.
Yeah. Most of the time when you see a car moving about like that, it's due to the ballast. A lot of people, they use the setups that have the world record. And the thing is with world record setups, I've said this before, is they tend to have very high ballast. And that means that your car will be good in time trial, it will turn in like a dream in time trial. That's because you haven't got to worry about things like extra fuel, temperatures and tyre wear and things like that. But when you get into qualifying and the race, where you do have to worry about something like that, it can make the car so unstable, it's unbelievable.
Yep.
The best, at least, to put the ballast forward a couple of more pegs just so you don't get that oversteer. As APS Steerage, our race winner of a couple of races in ILR3, now comes across the line and he goes 3rd fastest on a set of mediums. Wow, blistering lap from Steerage there.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gobsmacked about that time on the mediums. That's quick.
Yeah, as earlier on, I thought he wasn't too keen on the mediums as he came in twice beforehand, but I'm not sure if he just had a couple of incidents on the way or just been a bit unlucky with traffic. But those mediums have paid off, and even if he picks the hardest set of tyres, I'm pretty sure you only get 1 set of mediums in qualifying, so he's actually done that on that lap on a tyres that are a few laps old as well. So that was an extremely good lap from APS Series in Williams.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's also showing his pace for the race. It goes wide, really wide there, but I don't think he's on a lap. But yeah, it's showing he's got really, really good pace for the race as well. So it's just one more good thing to see.
As I wasn't looking at him, but actually, while we were just gawping at APS Steerage lap on the medium tyres, Futile Rydog in the Mercedes has actually just gone 4th fastest in 18.2, so good lap from him. As I suspect he's just trying to keep out the way of other drivers at the moment. But that oversteer that you were talking about for Dun Thunder, he seems to have tamed it, because he's managed to get that car into P6. And I'm just on board right now, I'm just going to see how shaky this car actually is. And he's taking it very slowly at the moment, so I can't judge for the moment. A lot of yellow flags at the moment, but I suspect that's just, again, keep him slowing down. people getting out of the way of other people's laps, because this isn't real life, you don't have to adhere to them. As looking through the cars, I mean, not a lot of people are on flying laps at the moment. Actually, Zillion Average is on another one. He's stuck behind the hatch at the moment of F1 Zanardi. Not too happy about that, he dives straight into the pits. He might get one more lap in if he's quick. As those people just slowly crawling around at the moment, trying to keep their tyre wear low for the race, as most people have set a lap on supers, probably most doing a 2-stop for the race. And as we've seen from races like China, the 1-stop in this game is just stupidly overpowered. In China we saw Tom 97 HD, I think that's Tom 123, like that. Oh. Sorry, I can't remember your name, but he did a 1-stop and he ended up going from first to last, 20 seconds ahead of second place. That shows how good the 1-stop is on this game compared to the 2-stop.
Yep. Slight incident on track for qualifying. WR Dark Phoenix and Cal were actually really close together. They were basically running side by side down the straight to turn 1, just starting the qualifying lap, and Dark Phoenix actually ended up the cut in turn 1, basically straight lining it, but I don't know if it was because him and Cal were side by side as they came into turn 1, but Cal's carried on. Dark Phoenix is actually, I don't know if he's still on his lap, I think he's gone down to start another one, so it looks like the rivalry's already beginning and it's not even started the race yet.
You said Dun Thunder had a lot of understeer. I'd want you to spectate Dark Phoenix right now, who almost did a complete 180 going into turn 5 earlier and almost collecting Ghost Lava in the Toro Rosso in the process. As his car, there's no easy way to put it, but it's everywhere. I see why he has not been able to set a clean lap. But this is actually going to be his last chance, because there's only 30 seconds left in the session at the moment. He brakes for turn 1, his car obeying him all right at the minute. If he applies the throttle a bit too early, his car starts to slide out. Hopefully his car will be able to stay reasonably stable through the fast sweeping corners of sector 1. It seems to be reasonably okay at the moment. As he brakes again for turn 5. This is where he had the incident with Ghost Lava a minute ago. As we see the hat of Leperfinity getting out the way. That's fairly reasonable. Oh! Marker approaches from him and he's binned it. And one of the awkward corners on the track. Too much throttle, too much ballast. Yeah, not much else to say. There is APS Steering on soft tyres now. He's binned the mediums and he goes 0.02 of a second quicker than Zillion Average. So his pole position has gone. Can ADOS Gamer actually do anything about that in the Force India? He's had a reasonable lap so far at the moment. Maximum fuel, maximum battery, brakes for the hairpin at sector 3. And he's got yellow flags up ahead. He's going to have to watch out for that as Leperfinity is there, causing yellow flags going a bit too slowly. But he's going to carry on going through the street sector section now of the track, as I like to call it. Through the left-hander, through the right-hander, cut the corner a bit, and he has invalidated his lap. So last minute, I suspect, there as he dives into the pits. So that is your qualifying session in Spain. Wow, that was quite action-packed. Full of incidents, that was. I think one of the most major ones I saw, I'm not sure if you saw it well, but was WR Phoenix all over the place in the last bit of that qualifying session.
Yeah, I saw him and Cal 17 F1 driving basically side by side coming into turn 1, and it was quite close.
So, your order for qualifying is APS Steerage, Zillion Average, ADOS Gamer, SRL Rampage, Futile Rydog, Dun Thunder, Atlantis J20, Easy Fusion, F1 Sonadi, Ghost Lava are your top 10. Below him you then have Chiwok, R Frank, Cal, 17 F1, Hotwire, Blazing Slender, Dark Phoenix, Leopard Affinity, and the ones that didn't set a lap were Leopard Affinity, F1 Aiden, AJH, and Wriggling Wazza. 3 of whom crashed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're right there, Will. Did something happen?
Yep, it just came up saying there are not enough players to continue in spectator mode. That's really good. It's took me back to the lobby.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. It's okay. I'm coming back in now.
Are you good?
Hopefully.
Good.
It's coming back in now.
Okay, so this should be, from what we've seen at the start, sometimes, most of the time it's either clean, not many incidents at all, or absolute chaos. There doesn't seem to be an in the middle in ILR. Not like a few knocks, a few bumps, but everyone still gets through. As the formation lap starts now, hopefully Will can get in before the formation lap is over, just to let everyone know when you do get in. Normally, a good sign for the race is if nobody gets disqualified on the formation lap. So ABS steerage going at a reasonable pace for formation lap, it has to be said, as he is starting on the softs. Got pole on softs, which is a very, very reasonable effort by him. As the Toro Rosso, I think, of Ghost Lava, just not caring about anyone. Oh no, that's not Ghost Lava, it is F1 Aiden, just not caring. Just sort of going for it on the mediums, just trying to heat them up as much as he can, taking as much speed through the corners, and just generally staying giving himself quite a reasonable margin, just to have a little sit by himself for this formation lap. As the pole sitter now comes through the fast right-hander at the end of Sector 2 onto the second DRS straight. Warming up his tyres, we can see everyone zigzagging in the background. As we have 3 disqualifications from the formation lap. Hopefully they don't make contact in the first laps. But hopefully this can be a good start. As no one wants to see a race with... I don't know where I'm going with this.
A massive pile-up.
Yeah. Although a massive pile-up is entertaining, normally that doesn't give us much hope for the rest of the race, as there's not enough racers. As all the AI start to take over their cars, they can line up at the grid. There's 4 with disqualifications. I keep forgetting. F1 Aiden just ran ahead at the start, just didn't care, he just ran ahead. You back in yet, Will?
Yeah, I'm back in.
Okay, cool.
I'm having a look at the back of the grid.
Down the field for any incidents. Yep. I am too ignorant to realise at the front.
Last car's lining up now.
As the Haas and the Toro Rosso line up at their grid spots. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's lights out and away we go. I'd appreciate a better camera angle for this, and we do, as the Mercedes and the Williams are actually side by side into turn 1. The other Mercedes in the background getting a very good start, getting past both Force Indias by turn 1. As the Force India tries to hang it around the outside and does so. And the Williams of APS Steerage leading away from his pole. There's a bit of contact in the background, I think I can see. And a reaction from Will as well, so I think I am confirmed with that. As it's fairly stable at the front, but I have a feeling it wasn't much so behind them, Will, and I think VSC is activated.
Yeah.
So, Will, talk me
out.
through what happened there.
It was just, I think it was a bit of miscommunication between the 2 Haas drivers. Zanardi and Lip Affinity were basically trying to come around the corner at the same time. Zanardi went off the track, and Affinity actually made contact with, I think it was Phoenix in front, and just kind of lost control of the car, hit the wall, and unfortunately he's out of this race.
Yeah, I'm actually spectating Zanardi. Hopefully the virtual safety car lasts long enough for him to get a new front wing, because I'm noticing a lot of turning vanes actually disappeared from his front wing on the right-hand side. As now Cal actually gets a 5-second stop-go penalty for a collision with Atlantis J20 under the virtual safety car as we go at green lights again. Somebody went wide there in the background, but Zillion Average is actually very close to the Williams going down this straight. As he goes a bit wide, a few bunny hops in the background actually. As Force India actually goes onto the gravel. Doesn't lose that much time though, as he gets the slipstream. Is he going to make the move into turn 1? I have a feeling he is. He's going to try and go around the outside. He's got a more optimum tyre to do so. The Williams holds on to the place, but he's getting very close to the rear end of that Williams. Obviously in the dirt here, the Mercedes not getting as much grip as that Williams at the moment, but the Mercedes in P2, P3, they're going to pick up the maximum amount of points at the moment, as the other Williams of Easy Fusion is in P7 at the moment. Dunstan are doing a very good job in P6. Highest he's run for in a while, I'm pretty sure. As the race starts to settle down now, I'm pretty sure, as they start to get into the lines, get into the groove, get into the rhythm for the rest of this Spanish Grand Prix. Is Vitor Rydog getting a bit wheel spinny there, but manages to hold it, going up the hill into the fast right-hander. And there's a Force India off into the gravel after the fast right-hander. He's going to have to wait there until there's a clean bit of traffic as he gets right in the way there of Blazing Stones. No, that's just our frag lagging again. Anyway, the Renault very close to hitting the Force India there. SRL Rampage is now all the way down in 13th. I have a feeling a lot of cars got damaged on that first lap, because even though SRL completely lost it going through that right-hander. Actually, no, I'm going to divert my attention from that now, as the two Mercedes are going for it in as Futile Rydog actually gets past his teammate of Zillion Average. First time I've seen him in this league. Doing a good job so far, and well, you had a bit of a reaction to something there. What was that?
Blazing Slender, he's actually, I don't know if he's just retired something, but he stopped on the final corner just before the pit straight, or sorry, the straight running along the pit, and parked it up on the right hand side. So I don't know if he's maybe hit the wall and then ended up, that's where he's ended up, but it ghosted there because Phoenix was coming round the corner and actually drove through him. So yeah, second driver out.
Yeah, and there was actually a McLaren there at the same time in the gravel of wriggling Wazza on the outside.
Ghost spun. It was just
trying to find his car. I'm not sure where it is. It's on turn 3. Very lucky for him not to have gone too far and spun into the gravel. But he's able to carry on. But on those medium tyres and with dirt on them, it's going to be very difficult for him to do that. As APS Steerage actually now has a sizable lead on the two Mercedes drivers. Hopefully the two Mercedes drivers don't fight too much as to not lose too much time. And as I was saying a minute ago, before I was quite rudely interrupted by another incident I saw, of SRL Rampage actually losing it on that curve. I suspect it was just because of just a high ballast thing. And you can tell a lot of people had damage on the first lap, as he only went down to 13th originally. He's currently starting to work his way back up. He's already back into 11th. I'm spectating him right now. He's actually catching back up to the McLaren of William Wallace, who actually just made a mistake on the last lap. He's starting to still going a bit wide, so I think he might still have a bit of gravel on his tyres. Doing a good job so far at recovering his SRL Rampage. Just looking for a few more battles through the field.
I think our Frank is suffering major internet problems. He is all over the place, but I think his lag.
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well. I'm not sure if he's had this before. I mean, I've spectated him before and he's been absolutely fine. So I think his internet might just be having a bit of an off day like yours did.
Yep.
A few days ago. Everyone has been completely understandable. I'm not blaming him. But that's going to make it considerably more difficult for people to overtake him, it has to be said.
Yep.
So two Mercedes very close to each other right now on similarly tired cars, as I actually missed a move between Zillion Average and Futile Rydog, I think, as Zillion Average now back in front of Futile Rydog, but I think Rydog might not like that, as he's still very close to his teammate. Not going to do either of them much good, as this is going to let the Williams of APS Series get away at a considerable rate of knots. Trying to look for some developing battles. I think Chiwok, who I think actually started very low, did he not? He's up 12. So very good job from Chiwok so far. He's about to move up into 4th. So I think he's starting to catch Adol's Gamer very quickly indeed. As you know, it's F1 Aiden that's up by 12. Excuse me, my error. I think it's F1 Aiden. Correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but didn't he F1 Aiden crash in qualifying?
Yeah, I believe he did. I think he actually retired from it after he crashed. I'm pretty sure he hit the wall and lost a wheel just towards the end. So he's doing pretty well. So it's also running on the mediums as well. So I mean, it's been a good tactic from him, but a lot of penalties been handed out as well so far.
You find, I think they've updated the game, so it's taking an even harsher stance on penalties. I think if it's still a cut, and Chiwok was actually out of the race. He's binned it at turn 2. I'm not sure if that was through contact or him just losing the back end. But as we've seen, it's a lot of people have been actually losing it altogether through that corner. Because now, unbelievably, Aiden is in 3rd place.
Yep. Oh, so now just making the move on Cal.
Yeah.
I think he's managed to do it. Yep, he has. Oh, Cal takes a really, really weird line there off turn, I think that's turn 2 or turn 1. It seems like the drivers are having problems with the green runoff section. They seem to be hitting it a lot, but nice move from Zanardi to take 15th, so...
Yeah. The green stuff is AstroTurf, as we've seen from the past, very slippery. A lot of cars losing it in real life. And Will, where's the action?
6th, 7th and 8th. Rampage has just made it up to 6th, but there was slight contact between himself and I think it's just Wazza. They actually made contact into the hairpin, so don't think I'll be too happy about that, but now Rampage is actually pitting and so is Wazza.
Yeah, I think Rampage realised how close that Mercedes was. Zillion Average was with rear diffuser and thought there was no point finding his super softs were going off anyway. It's time to pit.
Yep.
There's F1 Aiden. I'm pretty sure he doesn't seem to be pushing that hard at the moment. I think he may be going full stop as there's more yellow flags in sector 3. I think that's the Ghost Lava who just looked as though he was going very shakily across the curbs. It really was I think that incident may have actually cost him his front wing and about another 6 seconds there. So quite a major incident between Rampage and William Wazza. Never get outside of saying that name. Rampage is still working on doing a bit of a recovery drive at the moment. He's going to do another stop, I'm pretty sure. I think these softs will last about 14-15 laps based on how much super softs have lasted. So we should see probably another round of pit stops around lap, probably a bit shorter 15 laps, probably around lap 2021, as Wazza now gets a 3-second time penalty. I think they've changed it, so it's a 5 more action.
Ghost Lava was actually just off. He kind of lost it, and Wazza's actually catching him, but he came up the little hill that you come up where it has the right, the left-right. Have to do the long. Oh, he's lost it again.
Yeah.
He's on the grass. Yeah, so this is giving Wazza a chance to catch up. It doesn't look like he feels comfortable in the mediums for Ghost Lava, so...
A mix of him having very, very hot medium tyres indeed. Again, goes through the gravel again for a second lap in a row, as gets very close to winning Wazza then. I wouldn't be surprised if there was contact there, but both of the drivers getting away with it reasonably unscathed. There's now a 12-second gap between Steerage and Rydog. Steerage still on the soft tyres, so I'm pretty safe in saying he's going to try and extend those as much as he can and then go on the medium tyres. Although, would he want to do that? As we've seen, so far we've seen quite a few drivers struggling with those medium tyres. It's actually now Futel Rydog pits. So this is going to be the time to see if Julian Average is going to get him, and I think he is. He's only 12 seconds behind him, and I'm 100% certain that pit stop time in the pit lane is going to be longer than 12 seconds. Julian Average now passes the pit lane now and gets past his teammate, and I think there's going to be maybe about a 7, 8, 9 second gap is now. I think Ghost Lava finally had enough as SRL Rampage very close to Cal, as I think he actually he went for a dive there, and I think Cal thought he's going to have to get out of the way, cut the corner, gave himself a 3-second time penalty, and not really too much done there.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Rampage was thinking about it. I think Cal thought he was going to do it, and obviously Rampage thinking, no, I'm not close enough, but Cal having the right reactions, I would say. He's obviously not wanting to make contact with Rampage and decided to take the short route, shall we say, over the corner, but it was to no avail for Cal because Rampage had actually pulled out the move before he even made it, so a little bit of misjudgment there, but it shouldn't be too much. It's only lap 10 of 33, so he still has time to recover.
As I'm actually starting to notice now, Futel Rydog is actually gone on the medium tyres, so has he planned going from super soft straight to the medium tyres? If so, I think he may have the advantage over his teammate. I think his teammate is going to have another about 12 seconds on his teammate, if he still wants to be ahead of him after the other round of pit stops. And of course he's going to have to get past Frank, who is lagging a lot, it must be said. Going on board with him now, I think you can just about see how much this man's internet is screwing him and other drivers over right now, as I'm not entirely sure what's going on with it.
F1 Aiden is in second place and gained 16 places.
So I think we probably have a candidate for driver of the day at the moment.
Yeah, he's his fight back has been phenomenal. He's obviously picked the right strategy to go on. He's driving consistently. He's not going too quick or too slow. He's putting in the right pace. It's good when you see drivers doing this, because this is what creates champions. And he's definitely now showing the qualities of what it takes to win this race. Just the way he's driving is it's perfect. He's not overexerting the car, and you don't see him locking the brakes. So, I mean, it could even to win. You never know.
I'm actually tracking two different battles right now. 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th are in two separate battles, and that's, I think, contact.
Yep, Zillion and Frank. Zillion's about to come under pressure from Dark Phoenix, who's right behind him, and his teammate as well. I didn't see what happened. I just jumped on board and I seen Zillion run.
I will admit, I'm not sure if that was planned or not, but if it was brilliant. As Ferrari tried to down the inside again. I'm not sure if you saw what happened there, Will. I think Ferrari's going to go round the outside, and he does so. What a move from Dark Phoenix. As this is quite a battle developing here. We've got a 5-car battle. I'm not too sure if you saw what Julian Average tried to do there, but he actually tried to block the Ferrari off and let his teammate pass, so he'd get the job done. Because I think Julian Average might have a bit of damage after that. I tried to send one up the inside.
His left side end plate's gone. Yep.
Left side end plate damage on his front wing. As a Rebel is going to be pressurising him all the way. As he now gets onto the ground, that's going to give the Rebel a great opportunity. He's already passed. Is the Renault going to get an opportunity as well? It looks like he is. He's going to have to go around the outside. It's going to be a bit of a challenge going around the outside, but gets a switchback done. Goes up the inside, and that's 4 places lost. And he actually takes the Renault out and loses more of his front wing as well. So I'm not too sure what's going to be said about that in the debrief room. Quite a lot of action in this Spanish Grand Prix so far. Still yellows in sector 3. I think still for Dun Thunder going quite slowly.
Our Frank is all over the place. He's ran over the gravel about 6 times, but then the car just jumps back on track and it looks like he's driving normal. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be difficult for the drivers to guess where he is on track. As I don't know who that yellow was for. I just received a 10-second time penalty.
Is that for his pit lane? I have a feeling it is.
I'll have a look and see what that was for. Yeah, it was for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, that's bad. That's going to affect him so much. Oh no, it was for exceeding track limits. 10 seconds for exceeding track limits. 10 seconds? That doesn't seem right.
That must have been an extremely disqualified from session.
Oh.
That's demotion to last.
Why was he disqualified?
He was facing the wrong way according to what I just saw.
Yep, it says he was facing the wrong way on track. Wow.
That is going to be a race write-off, Brazilian average.
Yep.
As I believe he started in 2nd place, and he's now just been disqualified. So, not too sure about the words that are going to be said for that. What started off as a small incident with R-frame sort of snowballed into him losing 4 positions in 1 lap, and then losing his front wing on the Renault of Dun Thunder.
Dark Phoenix is off.
As WR Phoenix is actually facing the wrong way. I saw that he was, I think Easy Fusion was trying to make a move on him at the same time. He's lost pretty much all of that front wing, so he's going to have to pit if he wants to get some sort of points finish out of this race. Staying out the way of the McLaren of Cal, wise decision, as there's no point fighting with that bad of a front wing. And yeah, as Steerage pits the medium tyres, I suspect it will be, and it is. So he's probably most likely going to go to the end on those mediums, as long as I think he might have a 5-second stop go. Oh no, it was just a glitch.
Yeah, I get that as well.
I thought that was even more controversy. My heart started pumping then, but it was just rubbish.
Well, we'll see. Aiden's currently in P1, which, I mean, for him is incredible. He's been running perfect, and as we can see, I think as Dark Phoenix gets out the road. But we'll see what APS Steerage can do, because he's obviously going to want to try and catch him, not let him gain the advantage of basically a free pit stop with how well Aiden's running right now. But I mean, it's going to be a tough ask. He's been on those tyres for 13 laps. They obviously won't be degrading yet, but he will start feeling it soon. So he'll probably move on to the faster tyre, and it just depends how quick he can move on the fast tyres.
As WR Phoenix is actually getting penalties galore right now. I think he got about 3 penalties in that last lap. 1 for speeding in the pit lane and 2 for track extending. As I wanted to turn our attention right now to the battle between the Williams and the Red Bull. The Red Bull forcing the Williams over to the far side of the track. Not getting moved done. The Red Bull does a small bunny hop, as there's another battle in the background. I thought it was a battle, but I think it's just a very slow Ferrari.
Yeah.
Quite a good dodge by the Renault of Dun Thunder. I think that might have backed up the field quite a lot, as there's a huge train of about 5 cars behind Dun Thunder at the moment. As SRL Rampage is actually caught back up to that pack. So hopefully that's going to be another points finish for him. It's William Mother now gets another 3-second time penalty. Maybe this Williams can get in the slipstream of the Red Bull and have another go into the first corner. Of course, the start-finish straight being one of the longest on the calendar at Spain. I'm not too sure what's going on with the Williams tyres at the moment. They seem to be flipping colours all the time. But we're going to stick with it. He is on medium, I can assure you of that. Maybe he's not, it's showing soft at the moment. We're going to stay on board with him, see if he sends one up the inside of hot wire. I'm just going to see what tyre he is on. Okay, he is on the softs. Never mind me. It's this game being glitchy again.
Zanardi finds himself in a weird place. He's got Ubers in front of him, 2 Force Indias behind him. ADH has just made a
Oh,
mistake. Now he's
ADH
passed him.
gets a position to Zanardi. Very quick reactions from him as it's a bit of front wing or the back wheel of Hotwire. That was very, very.
Oh,
I think easy fusion.
It looked like Frank was off again, but it wasn't. It was lag.
Okay. As I think Easy Fusion tried to go for a move, but I think that may have been a bit of moving under braking from Hotwire. But whichever way you cut it, Easy Fusion has now got a bit of damage to his right wing end plate on his front wing. As I just want to point out how much steerage has caught up to F1 Aiden in the last few laps. He's now only just over a second behind. I wouldn't be surprised if he has DRS into the next hairpin. It says yellows in sector 1. I dread to think what that is.
Oh, I think it's... Nope, it's not Frank.
Wriggling
oh,
it's the wrong way around.
Yep. Oh. I think it's just sliding all over the place.
Shock.
As
Wriggling is now out. He's crashed after turn 3. He did a bit of Fernando Alonso from 2015 testing.
Yep, there he is. Atlanta J20s just went past him. Not been a good run for both Ferrari boys. They seem to be struggling quite a lot, which is, I mean, it's surprising because the Ferraris are usually quite strong, but especially with when you set them up and stuff. But it just looks like the two of them are having slight issues. But yeah, so steerage is actually past Aiden, so yes. I think Aiden will be pitting relatively soon. Hotwire's actually in from 4th, so Fusion passes him for 4th. Yeah, I definitely think F1 Aiden will be in soon, but I mean, even if he finishes 3rd, he still have to applaud the lad. He didn't have the best qualifying, and look how well he's running. It just proves that qualifying, sometimes it can go well for you, but it's not really the end of your race if you have a really bad qualifying. So I mean, F1 Aiden just proves that. He's now sitting for a podium, so he goes really wide.
Yeah, I just saw that. I just cut back to him as he went over the Santander sign, I think that is.
Yep. It's
yeah, go on.
No, I was just going to say, it's actually been a pretty interesting race, because obviously some of the guys I've never seen before, and watching the pace and the way they race, it's actually pretty entertaining to watch. Like, I'm extremely impressed with steerage in F1 Aiden. They two are just, I mean, Aiden is so consistent and just persistent as well. He doesn't want to give up, and it's just been rewarding of him. But obviously, Futel Rydog as well, he's running pretty well, and quite a few of the others as well. What's happened at the back? Zanardi and Ado Z Gamer, I think that's just part of the game's glitch, because I think Frank's lagging. It's showing that Zanardi and Ado Z Gamer passed him, but they've not. He's actually just coming up on Dawn Thunder, so this could be interesting.
He's having a reasonable enough connection at the moment to see that I think he's trying to make a move on Dun Thunder into turn 1, but he can't quite make it done.
Yeah.
And the move on Steerage and Aiden, it was a fairly undramatic move. It was just a DRS pass down the straight as Aiden is trying to extend those tyres as long as he possibly can. He's getting lockups all over the place at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if I would have thought lap 19 would be the lap he comes in on.
Yeah, I would think so.
He just gets so fed up with those tyres, he comes in now, but no, he carries on. I think lap 19 will be the optimum place to come in. Cheers for that, Will. Sorry about that. Somebody joined party, didn't know who they were. There's F1 Aiden. Now, trying to really feel the wear on those tyres. Those are going to get very hot. Easy Fusion now pits as well. He's going to go on to another set of soft tyres. He's going on the 2-stop with Steerage and Aiden going on the 1-stop. So now we can see how evidently overpowered this 1-stop is. And R-Frank still not able make that move on Gun Thunder into turn 1. We can see how much he's lagging. I'm not sure if Gun Thunder's going to fight him too much, or how much he is. It's AOS Gamer and DC Fusion now in the pits. Hot Wire making up 2 places as a result of that. And there are yellows in Sector 1. I'm not too sure what for. There is a Ferrari sideways on the straight, and it's Atlantis. He's been disqualified as well. That's the first time I've ever seen 2 disqualifications in one race.
Aiden's in. Yeah, I was just about to mention Aiden. I just checked his lap times over the last like 5 laps, and they're around like the 22, 23s. So, I mean, he's pretty consistent, and he's definitely doing a really, really good job for Toro Rosso. But yeah, I'm actually quite surprised. I don't think I've ever came across 2 drivers from one session being disqualified, so it's a first for me as well.
As I think the pit stops have shuffled up the pack a bit, and it certainly made him a bit closer as well, as AJH is now but 4 tenths behind DC Fusion. He seems to have got rid of some of the problems he had with that car in qualifying, as he actually did crash in qualifying, as I think I got a bit of a commentator's curse that bit me in the arse a bit there, but never mind, as he went a bit wide in Sector 3. Maybe he still gets DRS, I think he will do, he does, so he's going to be able to stay within a reasonable distance of that Williams, and maybe have another go into the second DRS zone. I'm just going to very quickly put the party on invite only. Could have done that thing, but never mind, we didn't miss any action, I don't think.
No. Not really much.
Good.
I think it's just I think they're just coming up to the final. Obviously, the guys who were started the race on mediums are just switching over now. As like we see F1 Aiden, he's moved on to the softs, which will obviously carry him to the end. It's just now a case of he's got 4.4 seconds to make up over Futiel Rydog, so it's not out of his means. Obviously, Futiel Rydog's been on the mediums for 12 laps, so. F1 Aiden's tyres are a lot younger, and they're also a softer compound, so definitely within his grasp to take P2, but I mean, even if he ends up P3, he still should be happy. It's a really decent run from the lad in Toro Rosso.
Yeah, and as we can see, Aiden is definitely starting to push now. He's got his battery in 5, I think, and he's gaining on Rydog by a considerable amount. I think he gained a whole second in Sector 1 alone.
Yeah, he did.
I think you can see how Futiel Rydog is actually starting to struggle massively on those medium tyres compared to the fresh, soft rubber that Aiden has on his car. As you see, all across the field, it's still running, 13 drivers. There aren't any super soft runners, as Zanardi is round at turn 2. We've seen a lot of that recently. I think loads of issues in qualifying, people losing their front wing there, as Zanardi has done so. I think he's lost pretty much his whole front wing.
Yep.
I think that's going to demote him to last. Fairly self-explanatory. APS steerage now swoops around the outside and him gets onto the grass a bit though. Keeps it together, manages not to spin. Good job from him, as Aiden is now but 2 seconds behind the Mercedes and Futiel Rydog. So that was 2.5 seconds in 1 lap.
This could get pretty interesting towards the end for these two. It just depends on who looks after the tyres better, or you never know. Futiel Rydog may actually decide to pit onto the faster tyres, so he may choose to pit for a pair of super softs, but I don't think it would do him any good. I just think he would lose places.
Get some time penalties.
Yep. I'll actually have a look, see the top 3, how many penalties they have. Steerage has 1, and Futiel Rydog has 1 as well, so top 3 are actually even on penalties. So this is for
right. So we can see, I think, I'm not sure, but I think Gun Thunder is actually got away and R-Franked it, and he's now actually challenging AJH. So I think He's finally got into the groove of having those soft tyres on the start, as I think he's overtaken one Sauber actually, and he's caught up to the other. Is he going to make a move into this hairpin? I don't think he is. I think he's a bit too far back. But he's decided to show the nose. Maybe put a little bit of hesitation to his head. Maybe pray for a lockup. There's a huge spike of lag comes in there. Hopefully we don't see too much of that in this battle, otherwise we could see absolute scenes. But as we carry on, AJH, not liking those mediums very much, locking up quite a bit into the last sector. As now the Renault gets DRS again, AJH moves over to the right hand side, moves back over to the left hand side. I think he's just trying to lose the slipstream that the Renault has. As he now goes down the inside, maybe the Sauber is going to try and hang around the outside. No, he doesn't. He concedes a place for Dun Thunder. Tries to get a run on him around the outside, doesn't. He's just going to try and stay with him now. Stay with him as much as he can. As we know, the soft tyre is the softer compound as the medium, and gets very close to the back of the Renault there. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a slight tap. But actually now we can see F1 Aiden neck and neck with the Mercedes and Futile Rydog. He's going to try and get DRS into the start-finish straight. Maybe he's going to try and make this simple move as possible. Rydog under huge pressure from the Toro Rosso driver at the moment. I think he might have made a slight mistake. He's not going to have a run on him into turn 1, but as you can see, he's braking a good 25 metres later. Gets a bit of a slide on. I think he may be able to actually challenge him to turn 4, as he's got a much better run out of that corner than the Mercedes driver. And as he does, he dives up the inside. Doesn't give any room for error in his mind, but he gets past the Mercedes in quite an uncompromising way. Makes the move as quick as possible. And now he's going to, well, a long shot. He's going to try and make a gap between him and Rydog, who we've seen, I think in his first race in ILR3, is a very competitive driver. As Aiden most likely is going to start to get away from the Merc and hopefully maybe catch up, maybe even a little bit, to APS Steerage, who there's no way of saying it has an absolute commanding lead over anyone else right now. I think he's a whole sector ahead of anyone else. Great driving from the Williams. As SRL Rampage and is starting to catch up to the two Saubers that Dun Thunder has now passed. And Dun Thunder is starting to catch up on another car of Hotwire. And he's got another car in front of him. So maybe Dun Thunder can make it into P4 by the end of this, as Futile Rydog is not helping his case at all by getting a time penalty. Will, any news on any other field? Did you see the move on R. Frank and Dun Thunder?
I didn't. I was actually focusing on this battle between Futile Rydog and F1 Aiden. They're just, it's like a pendulum between these two, just back and forward. I do see that Dun Thunder's gaining a lot of time on Hotwire. He's just about to make a move that looked like lag there, but maybe not. But he does make the move into turn 1, and it was a relatively easy move with DRS obviously overtaking him. But still, it's pretty, I wouldn't say it's easy, but he just made it look easy and managed to take P5.
Now we are also down to 12 drivers. F1 Zanardi, I have a feeling, has binned it. I have a feeling he did what Wazza did a few laps ago and binned it out of turn 3. I saw quite a lot of debris, so I'm guessing that's where he binned it. As Rydog not falling away from Aiden nearly as much as I think he did. That DRS is keeping him in within dive bombing distance. An absolute treat. He's gaining, he's gaining, he's gaining. Is he going to have a move? He gets very close to Toro Rosso, but it's not good enough for a move. As looking down the field, Dun Thunder hasn't really made a dent in that 2 seconds of Easy Fusion. Easy Fusion, the last 2 races in China and Baku weren't a race involving a pileup in Baku and being spun round in China. So not the best couple of races, as there's yellow flags in Sector 3 and AJH has actually spun round. We saw it had quite a few problems with the rear of that car in qualifying, but he's still in 10th place, still good enough for a point. Hopefully he can just carry on. He's on mediums. They're solid tyres, they should be able to last. And Utah Rydog is not giving any time to F1 Aiden at all. I think once Aiden gets out of the DRS range, that will be enough for him to start to get away from Utah Rydog. I think Sun Thunder is actually starting to lose on the Williams of Easy. And I think as the race starts to enter its final laps now, the field might start to calm down a bit after what has been quite an interesting one.
Oh, Rydog's making a move again on Aiden. Coming into turn 1, he can't quite make it stick. I think Aiden's just got a bit more grip. Quite a nice move though, he did try and outbrake him into turn 1, but yeah, I just think because he's obviously got 18 lap old mediums and Aiden only has 7 lap old softs, it's just, it may be a losing battle. He'll probably still be able to put in some really good lap times, but I think his tyre is the end of their life now.
As there is, from what I've seen, I've cut to on the barrel, there has been absolutely no quarter given to either drivers.
Nope.
As I think if he's alright, I'll try and go around the outside there from what I saw.
Turn 1, yeah, he did. He tried the outside, but Aiden kept stuck to the inside line, managed to keep it, and then I think Rydog just realised he can't hold that line. Oh, but he receives a penalty. Yeah, he just couldn't hold the line into turn 1, had to back out, let Aiden take the racing line and then move back behind him, but he's now got DRS, he's a little bit further behind than what he was before, so don't think he'll be able to make the dive into turn 1 yet unless he outbreaks him, but I can't see it. Nope, he's still too far back. Still some nice battling between these two though.
Yeah. Once Aiden breaks that DRS, I think that might be the opportunity for him to start to get away. But don't forget, he does have age-old mediums on that car now after pitting. I think he went straight from super soft to mediums, did he not? I think that's what his strategy was.
Yeah, Rydog, yep, he went super soft mediums. He actually pit back in lap 8, so he's been running a long time on those mediums.
I think to where it's due for Rydog making those last as long as he possibly can. As I don't... Yeah, what were you going to say, Will?
It doesn't matter if Rydog passes him, he would have to make up 6 seconds. He has 3 penalties now, Aiden only has 1.
Yeah, as we see now, as Aiden actually has now broken DRS.
Yep.
I think that will be terminal for Rydog. I think he's going to have to settle 3rd place. As I didn't realise how big the gap was between 3rd and 4th. Good 30 seconds, at least. So even if he does rock up that huge amount of penalties, it won't be enough for him to be demoted off his podium spot. As Rydog gains a bit more on the straight there, I think. Another thing that's helping Easy Fusion, he's got a bit more of a downforce orientated setup, so he's a lot quicker in the corners, and that's why Rydog has been able to make so many DRS orientated lunges at the Toro Rosso. As he's just they're both trying to keep an easy head now. Right, if I was Rydog right now, I'd be praying for Aiden to make a mistake and maybe get a couple more penalties. Actually, Will, how many, can you just quickly see how many penalties each driver has got? Or is it 6 seconds just permanent?
Well, Steerage only has 1. Aiden has 1. Fuel Rydog has 3. Fusion only has 2 warnings. He doesn't even have a penalty yet.
Wow.
Same with Dawn Thunder. He has 3 warnings but no penalties. Hotwire has no penalties either. Frank has 1.
Not very often in F1 2018 we see a penaltyless race for anybody.
Quite a few of the drivers actually have no penalties, but yeah, Rampage has just got. I was just about to say Rampage has no penalties either, but now he has.
Rampage gets.
Frank's lag's catching up with him a bit there. It actually looked like he hit the back of Hotwire, but I don't think he did.
Yep, as Frank is still lagging his way around the track. 30 laps in now. I'm surprised. Don't think he's caused any major incidents of that lag. Hopefully that's not going to compromise his battle between him and Hotwire too much. He's got the DRS. I'm not sure he's close enough to make a lunge right now. I wouldn't with that amount of lag. But he's very close to the back of that Red Bull right now. If I was Hotwire, I'd be looking in my mirrors quite a considerable amount. As he actually tries to go around the outside, switches back to the inside. He's going to have a lunge into turn 4. And he does so, and he actually spins around the Red Bull.
Yeah.
That is going to be quite feisty in the debrief room. I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
As steerage, I think, has come up to lap.
Fusion's off.
Easy Fusion takes a trip through the gravel. I
He's got damage.
2 Force Indias, can I point out? How close are they?
Yeah. Fusion's actually made contact with something. He's lost the right and he's ghosted as well, so we may see a retirement from him, but I'm not sure. But he's coming back on track now. Oh, he's been disqualified from the session, parked in a dangerous location.
Jesus Christ. 3 disqualifications in one. I think that might be a bit of over harshness around the Spanish track.
Yeah.
But 3 disqualifications in one track. In one race. I have a feeling that might be more down to the game rather than the drivers. It seems as though if they're parked in one direction for more than a split second, they're disqualified.
Oh, Rampage is making a move on his teammate.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Is he going to make it stick? I think he is, unless ILRGT can make an absolute run on him. It's turn 3, Fernando Alonso style. Don't think he can. As I can actually divert your attention, Will. Futai Rydog has actually got past Aiden, and he's making a very considerable gap to him quickly. So I'm not sure what's happened to the Toro Rosso of F1 Aiden. But if he can stay within that 6 seconds, he can keep his second place. With the speed he's got at the moment, I don't think that's going to happen.
Adol's Gamer's actually got damage. He's losing. He's lost the. Yeah, he's lost the end plate on the left-hand side of his front wing. So I think that's actually affecting his race.
Oh wow! I think that might have been on the move SRL Rampage, because they were actually going very closely paced those last couple of laps, and he's just suddenly dropped off. So I have a feeling that lunge might have chipped off a bit of front wing from the Force India. Is now
I've got to say,
steerage is coming around the last corner to start his final lap as Force India gets out his way very neatly indeed.
If Dog manages to keep this P2 and gets the 6 seconds he needs, then he's just ran 24 laps on the medium tyres, and quite impressively as well.
I'm not too sure what happened to the Toro Rosso of Aiden there, but he seems to have sped back up. I don't think Rydog is going to get that 6 seconds he needs unless he makes another mistake.
Oh no, it's actually gone back up. It's
If
almost
AJH
at 5
makes
seconds.
a move, turn 5 on Adol's Gamer. I'm not sure if he's going to make it stick. He doesn't. He's going to tuck back up underneath the rear wing. But
that was close.
I'm not sure there's any other battles brewing at the moment, but I think AJH and Adol's Gamer might have actually had a small coming together. As Hotwire is going to be looking there as well, as Adol's Gamer swoops around the outside, not enough to put AJH off as he goes over the really bumpy curve, as many people know. We're going to divert our attention for the moment as Steerage is now completing his final couple corners of the race. Comes around the final corner behind the Force India, bringing it home. Fuel light comes on, zigzagging up to the line. Apex Steerage wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Very commanding drive for him today. As how did that battle turn out in the end? Seems to be SRL Rampage is completing his final lap, because I don't think he did get that. Hotwire actually stayed behind AJH in the end, and Adol's Gamer got overtaken by both of them.
Yeah. It's going to be extremely close between Futil Rydog and F1 Aiden. It's 5.8 seconds. But I think... Oh no, it's actually... Is it 6 seconds now?
6 seconds! He's not got it, he's run out of fuel! That's completely
run
done
out of
him!
fuel. Oh,
He ran out of fuel on the line, that's just cost him second place.
Okay, I've got to say that was an extremely amazing... I think that's what maybe happened to F1 Aiden. He realised he was going to run out of fuel. He's went into saving mode and Futil managed to take the place. I think that's what's happened. And he obviously knows he has penalties, so he's tried to stay as close to them as possible and just ended up running out of fuel towards the end. I mean, it's got to be said, Futil Rydog props on the 25 laps on mediums, but F1 Aiden definitely just wow. And a really impressive race from Aiden. To start from a really bad qualifying to end on the podium is just wow.
Yeah, that was a race and a half. Scenes from start to finish. Bit of a pile up at the beginning, 2 Haas drivers taking each other out, and then scenes right up at the end with Toro Rosso of Aiden running out of fuel in the line and handing a position to Futil. So it's steerage P1 again, I'm pretty sure. Not his first win of the season. Loads of people considering him to have just dominated the opposition today. I think he might have got a grand slam of pole position, fastest lap, and led every lap. But I'm not sure, I'll have to confirm that.
No, Aiden's lap was actually faster than steerage, 120.0.
So that is
Yep.
4/10 difference between him and a grand slam, so that's quite unfortunate for steerage.
Yep.
Can't be too unfortunate, because he's just won the race.
Well, yeah, I mean, that'll feel better than getting fastest lap.
Yeah, by 43 seconds over his nearest competitor. A commanding performance, to say the least.
Yep.
As in a sec, I will get the podium finishers into the party.
Yo.
Oh, what the hell is going on? Hang on a minute. There is something going up. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. Here is your P1 man. APS steerage. Well done on the win. Quite a simple race for you, it has to be said. But can you just talk us through any incidents you had, if any?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't that action-packed. I managed to get a clean. But the car in P2, the Mercedes had a bit of a run on me. So I sort of had to defend off the start, the inside a little bit. And then we had the VSC as well early on, which didn't help me because I didn't really get a great restart from that. And then again, he had a bit of a run. So I had to defend. But once I defended the soft tyres, which I qualified on, which are the better race tyre, just pulled me along a bit more and left the super soft runners behind, which was good. Yeah, it's just about managing the tyres on the one stop really, because at the end I was on about 70% wear, which is obviously enough. But yeah, it was manageable.
Me and Will saw you having a bit. I think it was you that had a few issues in qualifying, where you initially went out on mediums, but then ditched them and went on the softs to get pole.
Yeah.
So could you just talk us the problems that you had on the mediums initially? Was it incidents or just not very confident on the tyres?
Well, I had to leave the lobby because my force feedback wasn't working on my wheel, so I ended up going out, had no force feedback, came back into the pits. I tried resetting my wheel, came back into the left the pits again, still wasn't right, so came back in, and then I had to leave the game and then do a third lap. So by the time I actually did my lap on the mediums, they were 3-4 laps old. And obviously the mediums aren't great for grip, so they were okay, but I was always planning to go out on the softs right at the end to try and get pole, which thankfully I did, because it looked like the majority of the field were qualifying on the supers. I saw F1 Zanardi on softs, and I believe there was Aiden as well, was on softs or mediums, correct me if I'm wrong. There wasn't many guys on supers at all. So yeah, it was just good to get the pole really, just in the end, but...
Yeah, I can vouch for you with the force feedback thing because I've had it before.
Yeah.
And guys, I'll just say again, just make sure your audio is included in the party so we can move on to our P2 man, Futile Rydog, in the Mercedes. Now, that was quite an intense a few last laps.
It was.
But, talk us through, I'm going to ask the same question, any incidents? Any highlights of the race
really.
for you?
Apart from the battle me and Aiden had, that was probably my highlight of the race.
Yeah, I mean, were you a bit confused when Aiden started to slow down again? After he'd overtaken you on the soft tyres?
No, I didn't think he was slowing down, to be honest. He was losing it out of corners, I did notice that.
Because I think initially me and Will thought his tyres had just completely gone off, but I'm not sure what it was. But we can ask now, I guess. Congratulations on P2. Right. Aiden.
Yep.
That was probably the most eventful race that anyone had there. P18 you started, running in first position for a few laps as well. And then eventually finishing in P3. Can you just talk us through what happened at the end of the race there real quick?
My tyre no, first of all, 3 laps to go, the frames just dropped. Not sure why. Then the tyre went to 113 degrees, so taking corners were near impossible and dropped off about 10 seconds, I think. Like that. So it's quite annoying, but that's what long stints do, I suppose.
Yeah, I have to say though, that was a very good first stint on the mediums. I mean, were you expecting to get that high of position after you started P18?
Well, after I crashed out, I did it at Bahrain as well. Started at the back on the hardest tyre, went as far as possible, but I probably wasn't hoping to get P1 by the first stint, but went better than expected with incidents and people struggling with tyres as well. So, yeah, got quite lucky, but it was a good stint, so I think the tyres just didn't hold out long enough for the softs to go the whole way.
Yeah, okay. So, I think that will be it today from ILRF3. Your podium finishes are APS Steerage in the Williams, Futile Rydog 99 in the Mercedes, and F1 Aiden 66 in the Toro Rosso. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for putting on an extremely entertaining race, as we said. Okay, me and Jess, hopefully next time, will see you next